Welcome to our deep dive into The Amazing Mr. Blunden.
Yeah, it's a film that's captivated audiences for decades.
And we're going to unpack its lasting appeal, focusing on the themes and symbolism and what makes this time-traveling mystery so unique.
You know what strikes me is how The Amazing Mr. Blunden seamlessly blends a children's adventure with some surprisingly mature themes.
Right.
It's a story about second chances, confronting the past, and the enduring power of hope, all wrapped up in a captivating time travel mystery.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Two siblings, Lucy and Jamie Allen, they move with their mother to a seemingly ordinary, albeit slightly creepy, old mansion.
And it's within the walls of this mansion that they encounter the enigmatic Mr. Blunden, a caretaker shrouded in mystery. His presence is a catalyst not only for their adventure, but also for their personal growth.
Yeah, and I found it fascinating how the film explores Mr. Blunden's backstory, hinting at a past filled with regret and a yearning for redemption. It adds a layer of depth to his character, making him more than just a magical guide.
Precisely, he's a figure burdened by his past, seeking solace, and perhaps a chance to right past wrongs. This resonates with the ghostly children, Sarah and Georgie, who are also seeking a form of redemption from their tragic fate.
Right.
You see?
Yeah, and their stories are intertwined, creating a poignant exploration of second chances and the consequences of our actions.
Yes.
And speaking of characters, we can't forget Mrs. Wickens, the villainous housekeeper.
Ah, yes, Mrs. Wickens.
She's such a compelling antagonist, driven by greed and a desire for control.
She represents the darker side of human nature, a stark contrast to Mr. Blunden's benevolence. Her presence adds a sense of danger and urgency to the children's quest.
Oh, and Diana Dors's performance as Mrs. Wickens is simply brilliant.
Yes, it is.
She embodies the character's malice with such chilling conviction.
Indeed, she adds a layer of complexity to the film, reminding us that darkness can lurk even in the most unexpected places.
That brings us to the film's central theme of redemption, which is woven throughout the narrative. It's not just about righting past wrongs, but also about finding forgiveness and healing.
Exactly. The characters are all grappling with their pasts, seeking a way to make amends and find peace. This theme is particularly poignant in the context of the ghostly children trapped in their own cycle of tragedy until Lucy and Jamie intervene.
Yeah. That's a powerful message about the enduring impact of our actions and the possibility of breaking free from the chains of the past. And it's all set against the backdrop of this incredible Victorian England setting, which really enhances the atmosphere.
The visual design of the film is stunning. The filmmakers captured the essence of the Victorian era with its ornate costumes, gaslit streets, and the imposing presence of the mansion itself.
Right, and the mansion's practically a character in itself, full of shadows and secrets. It's a visual representation of the past, both its beauty and its potential for darkness.
It's a space where memories linger, where the boundaries between the present and the past blur, creating an eerie and enchanting atmosphere. And let's not forget the film's effective use of practical special effects.
Oh, you're right. Even though the special effects are from the 1970s, they hold up surprisingly well. The filmmakers cleverly used lighting and sound design and practical techniques to create a sense of wonder and unease.
It's a testament to their ingenuity and artistry that they were able to achieve such compelling effects without relying heavily on CGI. This adds to the film's timeless quality, allowing it to resonate with viewers across generations.
And speaking of timelessness, the film's score is another element that contributes to its enduring appeal. The music is both haunting and beautiful, perfectly capturing the blend of mystery, adventure, and emotion.
The score heightens the emotional impact of key scenes, adding depth and complexity to the storytelling. It underscores the film's themes of loss, redemption, and the passage of time.
Okay, so we've touched upon the characters, the themes, and the visual style. But what I find particularly fascinating about The Amazing Mr. Blunden is its exploration of psychology, particularly through the use of symbolism and motifs. It's almost as if the film is inviting us to delve into the deeper layers of meaning.
That's an excellent observation. The film is rich with symbolism, from the recurring motif of blue associated with Mr. Blunden to the contrasting imagery of light and darkness that represents the struggle between good and evil.
Yeah, and for example, in one of your articles, the author mentions the significance of the old pocket watch that Mr. Blunden uses to control time. It's more than just a timepiece, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The pocket watch acts as a metaphor for his control over time, but it also represents the ephemeral nature of time itself. Its ticking serves as a constant reminder of the passage of time and the fleeting nature of our existence.
That makes me think about how the film uses the mansion as a symbol of memory and the past.
Yeah.
It's a place where time seems to stand still, where the echoes of past events linger in every shadowy corner.
Precisely. The mansion serves as a visual reminder that the past is never truly gone. It shapes who we are and continues to influence our present and future. This intertwines with the theme of redemption, suggesting that while we may be haunted by our past, we also have the power to confront it and seek forgiveness.
Speaking of the past, the film's depiction of Victorian England goes beyond just a historical setting.
Yes.
It also serves as a commentary on the social injustices and class disparities of that era.
Yes, the stark contrast between the lives of the wealthy and the poor is clearly depicted. The ghostly children, Sarah and Georgie, come from an impoverished background while their villainous cousin Thomas enjoys a life of privilege.
It's a reminder that even in a seemingly advanced society, inequality can persist, leading to tragic consequences.
Indeed, and the social commentary adds another layer of depth to the film's exploration of redemption and second chances. It suggests that we have a responsibility to acknowledge and address the injustices of the past in order to create a more just and equitable future.
Yeah, it's fascinating how the amazing Mr. Blunden manages to weave together so many layers of meaning. From psychology and symbolism to social commentary. It's a film that rewards multiple viewings, revealing new insights with each watch.
Before we move on to delve deeper into the visual motifs and symbolism, is there anything in particular that struck you about the film's exploration of psychological themes?
I was particularly intrigued by the film's subtle touches of surrealism. Those moments where reality and fantasy blur, creating a dreamlike atmosphere.
Ah, yes. Those surreal elements enhance the film's magical realism, inviting us to suspend our disbelief and embrace the possibility of the impossible. We will certainly explore those in more detail later. Welcome back to our deep dive into the enchanting world of the amazing Mr. Blunden.
Yeah.
We've laid the groundwork exploring the characters, themes, and visual elements. Now let's delve deeper into the film's rich tapestry of symbolism and its captivating use of surrealism.
Yeah. I'm particularly excited to unpack the film's visual motifs.
Yeah.
And how they enhance the storytelling. One thing that struck me was the recurring use of blue, especially in connection with Mr. Blunden.
Right.
It's subtle, but it creates a powerful visual association.
Excellent point. Blue is often associated with wisdom, tranquility, and the spiritual realm.
Right.
In many cultures, it's also a symbol of protection and guidance.
Oh, yeah.
All of which align perfectly with Mr. Blunden's role in the film.
It's like a visual cue that reinforces his mystical nature and his connection to the supernatural. You see it in his clothing, the ethereal blue light that surrounds him, and even in the misty blue hues that often accompany his appearances.
Precisely. It's a clever way for the filmmakers to visually represent his otherworldly presence and hint at his hidden depths. And this brings us to another interesting aspect, the film's use of contrasting imagery, particularly light and darkness.
Oh, yeah. The interplay of light and shadow is so striking in this film. It's almost as if the filmmakers are visually representing the struggle between good and evil, hope and despair. That runs throughout the narrative.
Exactly. Light often symbolizes hope, truth, and purity. While darkness represents fear, the unknown, and the potential for evil, this imagery is particularly evident in the scenes where the children travel back in time. They are often enveloped in shadows and mist, highlighting the uncertainty and danger they face.
And yet, even in those darkest moments, there are always glimmers of light.
Yes.
Whether it's the flickering candlelight in the mansion or the warm glow of a fireplace, it's as if the film is reminding us that even in the midst of darkness, hope can still flicker.
This duality is further emphasized through the characters themselves.
Right.
Mr. Blunden, with his ethereal blue aura, embodies a sense of light and hope, while Mrs. Wickens, often cloaked in shadows and deep reds, represents the darker impulses of human nature.
It's fascinating how the filmmakers use visual cues to guide our understanding of the characters and the moral complexities of the story. And speaking of visual metaphors, we can't overlook the significance of the old mansion itself.
Ah, yes. The mansion is more than just a setting. It's practically a character in its own right, serving as a visual representation of memory history and the enduring presence of the past.
Yeah, it's a place where time seems to stand still, where the weight of past events lingers in every creaking floorboard and shadowy corner. The mansion's decaying grandeur reflects the passage of time and the way that past secrets can continue to haunt the present.
Precisely. And the mansion's labyrinthine corridors and hidden rooms symbolize the complexities of memory and the way that the past can be both alluring and dangerous. It's a space that invites exploration, but also holds the potential for unexpected discoveries and hidden truths.
You mentioned the potential for danger, and that brings me to another visual motif, the recurring use of fire in the film.
That's an astute observation. Fire is a powerful symbol representing both destruction and purification. It can consume and destroy, but it can also cleanse and pave the way for new beginnings.
Right. There's the fire that destroyed the mansion in the past, which serves as a reminder of the destructive consequences of greed and malice. And then there's the fire that Mrs. Wickens nearly sets in the present, symbolizing her attempt to erase the past and seize control of the children's future.
The use of fire adds a layer of intensity and symbolism to the film, highlighting the characters' struggles with their pasts and their potential for both darkness and redemption.
It's also worth noting how the film uses mirrors and reflections to play with the concept of duality. The children often see glimpses of themselves and the ghosts in mirrors, blurring the lines between the real and the spectral.
Mirrors in many cultures are seen as portals to other realms, reflecting not only our physical selves but also our inner selves.
Yeah.
The film's use of mirrors suggests that the past and present are intertwined and that our actions have the power to shape both.
The children's journey through time becomes a journey of self-discovery as they confront not only external challenges, but also their own fears and insecurities. And speaking of journeys, the film itself can be seen as an allegory for the journey of life with all its twists, turns, and unexpected encounters.
Absolutely. The children's encounter with Mr. Blunden, their time travels, their battles with Mrs. Wickens, all of these can be interpreted as symbolic representations of the challenges and triumphs we face throughout our lives.
The ghosts they encounter represent the unresolved issues and regrets that can haunt us if we refuse to confront them. And Mr. Blunden, with his wisdom and guidance, embodies the inner strength and compassion we need to overcome adversity and find peace.
It's a reminder that life is a journey of growth and transformation, and that even in the face of darkness, there's always hope for redemption.
And let's not forget the film's subtle touches of surrealism, those moments where reality and fantasy blur, creating a dreamlike atmosphere that adds to the enchantment.
Ah, yes. Those surreal elements enhance the film's magical realism, inviting us to suspend our disbelief and embrace the possibility of the impossible.
Like the scene where the children first meet Mr. Blunden. He seems to materialize out of thin air, surrounded by a blue glow, as if he stepped out of a dream.
Or the scenes where the children travel back in time. The transitions are often accompanied by swirling mist and distorted sounds, creating a disorienting and otherworldly effect.
It's as if the film is inviting us to step outside the confines of our everyday reality and enter a realm where anything is possible. These moments add a layer of wonder and intrigue to the story, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats.
And they contribute to the film's enduring appeal, making it a timeless classic that continues to capture the imaginations of audiences young and old.
Now, before we move on to discuss the film's broader social commentary and its lasting legacy, is there anything in the materials you provided that sheds further light on these fascinating elements of symbolism and surrealism? I'm curious to see what other insights we can glean from your research.
As a matter of fact, there is. One of the articles you provided delves into the film's use of archetypes, highlighting how these universal figures contribute to the story's depth and resonance.
That sounds fascinating. I'm eager to hear more about how the film utilizes archetypes to enhance its storytelling and connect with viewers on a deeper level. So we've explored the symbolism, the surrealism, the visual metaphors, but what I'm really curious about is how those elements contribute to the amazing Mr. Blunden's enduring appeal. Why does this film continue to resonate with viewers decades later?
It's a question that speaks to the heart of what makes a film truly timeless. I think one key factor is its ability to connect with us on a deep emotional level. It's a story about loss, redemption, and the enduring power of hope themes that resonate across generations.
You're right. It reminds us that even in the face of adversity, there's always the possibility of second chances of healing old wounds and finding peace. And it does so with a sense of wonder and a gentle touch that makes it accessible to audiences of all ages.
And let's not forget the characters. Mr. Blunden, with his wisdom and air of mystery, is such a compelling figure. He embodies a kind of benevolent magic that we all yearn for, someone who can guide us through life's challenges and help us find our way.
Yeah, he's a reminder that sometimes help comes from unexpected sources, and that we shouldn't be afraid to trust those who offer a helping hand, even if they seem a bit unconventional.
Precisely. And the Allen siblings, Lucy and Jamie, are such relatable protagonists. They're ordinary kids thrust into extraordinary circumstances, and their courage and resilience in the face of danger are inspiring.
They embody that youthful sense of adventure and wonder that we all carry within us, reminding us to never lose sight of the magic that exists in the world, even when things get tough.
And then there's Mrs. Wickens, the villain we love to hate. She's so deliciously wicked, so driven by greed and a lust for power. She serves as a reminder that darkness can lurk in unexpected places, and that we must be vigilant in guarding against those who seek to exploit and manipulate others.
But even in the midst of that darkness, the amazing Mr. Blunden offers a message of hope and redemption. It suggests that we have the power to choose our own paths, to learn from our mistakes, and to create a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
And it does so with a sense of whimsy and enchantment that makes the journey all the more enjoyable. The film's visual style, the music, the touches of surrealism, they all work together to create a world that's both familiar and magical.
Yeah, it's a world that invites us to suspend our disbelief and get swept away in the adventure. And that, I think, is part of what makes it so enduring. It offers an escape from the everyday, a chance to believe in the possibility of magic and the transformative power of hope.
And that brings us to the film's lasting legacy. The Amazing Mr. Blunden has become a cult classic, cherished by generations of viewers. It's a film that families watch together, sparking conversations and inspiring imaginations.
Right. It's a reminder that good storytelling has the power to transcend time and connect with people on a universal level. And it's a testament to the filmmaker's skill and artistry that they were able to create a film that continues to resonate so deeply with audiences today.
Speaking of connections, I'm curious, what are some other films that you feel share a similar spirit or explore similar themes?
That's a great question. There are certainly other films that delve into time travel, second chances, and the importance of confronting the past. But what sets The Amazing Mr. Blunden apart is its unique blend of whimsy, adventure, and heart.
I agree, it strikes a delicate balance between light and dark reality and fantasy, creating a world that is both enchanting and thought-provoking.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I'd like to touch upon one final thought in one of your articles. The author mentioned that The Amazing Mr. Blunden could be seen as an allegory for the importance of facing our fears and confronting the darkness within ourselves.
That's a fascinating interpretation. The children's journey into the past, their encounters with ghosts and villains, could certainly be seen as a metaphor for our own internal struggles with fear, guilt, and regret.
And Mr. Blunden's role as a guide and protector could represent the inner strength and wisdom we need to overcome those challenges and find peace.
It's a powerful message, and one that resonates deeply. The Amazing Mr. Blunden reminds us that the journey to redemption is often a challenging one, but it's a journey worth taking.
And with that thought, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into The Amazing Mr. Blunden.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we encourage you to revisit this timeless classic with a fresh perspective, paying attention to the symbolism, the surrealism, and the deeper layers of meaning that lie beneath the surface. You might be surprised by what you discover.